So today I'm making garlic herb Parmesan artisan bread. I'll show you how I make it. I've taken a cup of milk and put 2 tablespoons of butter, put it on the stove, let the butter melt, just keep stirring. We don't want it to scorch and we don't want it to get too hot. So butter, I just cut them in chunks, put them in there and they get almost melted. Put them in a bowl. There's my bowl. It has about a teaspoon of yeast in it. Need a little bit of extra rye around here. So I'll put that in there, stir it up, let it sit. Now I'm going to use a cup of starter. This is a starter, sourdough starter. Made it myself. Maybe I'll do a video on that so you can make your own because it is surely simple. Cup of starter. See how wonderful thick and ooey gooey it is. Mix that in and pour it right in there. Stir it in. Who doesn't love garlic bread with spaghetti, with lasagna? It's good just making grilled cheese out of it. Mix that in good. I'm going to add a half a cup of flour in there. Just stir it around. I'm going to let that proof a little bit, which means just sit and bubble a little bit. While I do that, I'm going to get my spices together. My dehydrator's going. That's the noise. Sorry. Got the last of the tomatoes of the season on there, so I can make sun-dried tomatoes with them. My garlic, Parmesan, and herb seasoning is, gotta have my recipe, 2 tablespoons, oh no, 2 teaspoons. I'm about to go overboard. 2 teaspoons garlic powder. It seems like an awful lot of garlic for this, but if it's not strong, you don't taste it. Teaspoon of basil. Basil is so easy to grow and dry, and just break it up, put it in your old peanut butter jar. Oregano. Where's my oregano? Did I not get my oregano out? I guess I didn't. Oregano. We got a teaspoon of oregano. Oregano's the same way. Grow it in your herb bed. I hang mine on my pantry ceiling. Let it hang for 6 months. I gather it fall, rinse it off, let it dry a little bit, and then hang it up 6 months. Put it down, break it all up, put it in the jars. Rosemary. Fresh rosemary. Can't beat fresh rosemary. Half teaspoon. This is some out of my garden. I raised it. Then we've got minced garlic. We had garlic powder. Now we got minced garlic. Lots of garlic. Teaspoon of minced garlic in there. Also calls for a cup of Parmesan. I always buy big blocks. Then I get to grate it myself. These little cups are, little bowls hold 2 cups, so it just needs to be about half full. Don't take long, easy peasy. Ooh, that's getting all nice and bubbly. Looking good there. If my grandson was I've got 5 grandsons. My oldest, he's 15 right now. He loves to cut up the cheese for me. Although the younger ones are wanting to do it too now. So now you have to take turns cutting up the cheese. Almost there. I don't like to get all those things they put in those grated things to keep it from sticking together, so I just cut it up fresh. Okay, now we've got our stuff is bubbling in there. You probably can't see it, but it's bubbling up. We're going to put our garlic in there, our spices. We're going to put our cheese in there. Mix that up. I wish you could smell it because it smells good. Those bowls out of the way. Get me another half a cup of flour in here. Now it calls for a teaspoon of salt. So I add that in my flour. Just sort of stir it up in there a little bit. Pour it in. It's about time to get rid of this whisk. Get me a spatula. Works better for mixing in the flour. Now just start mixing in. Just start putting some flour in there. Stirring around, scraping around the sides, pulling it to the middle. Scraping around the sides, pulling it to the middle. Ooh, it smells good. I was just going to dig in it a bite because it smells good. But we're not doing that. But I sure want to. Add a little bit more flour. I just keep adding till it starts to get a dough right in the middle. See that dough right there in the middle? Can you see that? Yep. Punch it across a little bit. Do a little jiggling on it. Go across it. And it gets sticky. When it gets sticky, just add a little bit more flour. Now mine's pretty good there. Now I'm going to take me another bowl. Get these big salad bowls so it'll have room to rise. Give me a little olive oil, pour it around in there. Rub it on the sides of the thing so the bread don't stick, the dough don't stick. Get all that goodie off that spatula. Pull it out there. Drop it in, flip it over so there's oil on it. Not to get all that goodie out of there, don't want to leave any. Had to go wash your fingers off. It's a little sticky. And here's something I like to do. When I go to cover this, I just lay it over the top, pull it off there, grab my non-stick spray. I use olive oil ones. Just spray it across the top. Then I can pick it up and flip it over. And there it is. I've already got another bowl over here rising with something else. So we're going to let these rise, and they're going to rise probably 4 or 5 hours. When they start getting really puffy, I'll punch them down. Then I'll put them on a piece of parchment paper and put them in my Dutch oven and let them rise in that for a little bit. It's not hot yet. Then when I go to bake it, I'll put it in a 400-degree oven, but I'll put my Dutch oven in there without the bread. I'll set the bread out, just make a nice ball out of it. slice the top so it'll open as it rises a little bit more. Put that Dutch oven in there at 400, let it heat up with the oven. Then I'm going to take my parchment, I put it on a piece of parchment paper. Take that parchment paper, put it in that Dutch oven with the lid on it, in the oven for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, take the top off, but you leave it in there. Another 15 minutes. Then, you pull it out, pull that parchment paper out and off of it, sit it on a cookie sheet, put it back in there for 15 more minutes, and it'll be nice and golden brown. And beautiful, and smell wonderful. And every time we cut it up and eat it. Now, I'll show you that a little bit later on another video. But right now, we've got our dough rising, and this is basically the same dough you use for all, let's see, for my jalapeno cheddar, for the garlic parmesan, for the sun-dried tomatoes. The difference is, you just add different spices at the same time I did that time. And you sit aside and let it rise. But the dough itself is the same. It's the milk and the butter and the flour. So anyway, I'm glad you joined me. We'll see you later.